Yo, good morning. What's going on, everyone? My name is Seth Miranda. This is Coffee for the Creators. This is 42 West 18th Street. This is actually a store. This is Adorama. You guys are welcome to come down here anytime. I got John Michael with me today. Graphic designer, photographer. You're going to hear him talk and go, oh, that's a creative. I promise. So we're going to get into who he is. Good morning. What's going on? I knew something was going to go right, but it's all right. Look, I produce myself. It is what it is. Before we get going, I just want to say a quick thank you to Westcott. You guys know Westcott. It's a legendary company in this industry. Really famous for their modifiers, but of course now they have the FJ400, the FJ200, I believe, and the Speedlight, the FJ80. So you're looking at a flash system that's really kind of being fleshed out as we're going. Universal remote, which can work with every camera without having to change to a different remote completely. If you've got two different systems, boom to boom, Fuji, Nikon, it'll work, right? And don't forget the constant lights that they have out there. So check out the link down below for everything Westcott, the modifiers, you know, the Lindsay Adler focusing spotlight that everyone's using right now. It's a Westcott. So check that out. And the other people I want to say thank you to is Gotham Roasters. Cheers, kid. Boom. Cheers. What'd you get?
Ice mocha.
Ice mocha. Look at this guy. You hear how he talks? You know, they're one block up from Adorama. So if you ever come here for an event, go stop by on 19th Street. Tell them Adorama sent you, and we'd appreciate it. All right, this is where you can check out some of his work. Really quick, I'm going to give you guys an idea of what type of vibe this guy. You can tell by how soft and chill he talks, exactly what kind of photos you're going to see here. Hold on. So this is your website, right?
That's right.
You actually were a graphic designer first.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I'm sure you always took photos because it's like always there.
Yeah.
But you definitely are leaning on it way more than I knew you as a graphic designer when I met you briefly years ago when it was this type of stuff.
Yep.
And you've been doing a lot of corporate stuff. Like, I mean, that's not just like, oh, I do graphic design. Like, no, you're working for Coca-Cola, Sprite, Palmolive, Colgate, right? Like you're really working in a level for brands that are household names, maybe even worldwide, right?
Oh, no, it's global. Yeah.
It's global.
It's definitely global. Yeah.
So how many years did you go for graphic design? And when do you think photo kind of creeped into your skull a little bit?
So this will be my 14th year doing graphic design professionally. Photography. So I started in photography back in my first college, doing film photography, black and white back in 2001. And then, so there were some gaps in between. So I went back to school and did some stuff. But yeah, I started finding myself, taking lunch breaks and just going outside and shooting and doing that. And it kind of crept in to everything. But then I used my graphic design eye for the composition. So when you see some of the work, you'll see there's a lot of graphic design elements in there.
It's also the vibe too. Yeah. It's not aggressive. It just kind of, it's in front of you with a presence, which I feel like what graphic design kind of is. It's got to be clear messaging.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I get out of your images. Like for me, I'm always like, go wide and shove in there close and get crazy. And you're just kind of like, no, you come to me. You check out how clean this is.
Yeah.
You take a walk through this image. I mean, it's very honest looking, right? Like this portrait on the left.
Yeah.
Just clean light, just a moment, just I get it. I'm there. Let's move forward. Yeah. And I think everything is, I don't want to say minimalism, but there's nothing that is more than needs to be there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think what I want to do is I want you to feel calm and peace when you look at them. There's like you said, there's quietness to them. It's focused. So I want you to feel calm, especially in this like crazy world, right? I want you to look at my photos and feel a little bit of peace.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see that approach. I think that's what I get from yours is approach. Because there's a lot of photography out there, and I'm guilty of this myself, where I slap down a technique heavy as opposed to trying to shoot the subject. I'm like, look what I pulled off. Yeah, but what's the photo? Yeah. And I think here you're going, okay, I'm trying to capture this person. How can I get this bottle to read as clear as I want it to be? And that bottle looks like it's like 100 feet tall, but it's probably
it's just on a desk like tiny. This, and I'm on the floor. Yeah, I'm literally on the floor. Right, I'm on the floor laying flat.
Yeah, I mean, well, is that a Sony rooftop right there?
That is a Sony rooftop.
Yeah, we just did a Sony rooftop event.
I know. I couldn't make it to that one.
I was like, I know that corner.
Yeah. That was good, and I think that's I forget what happened there, because there was a flash stuff going on. I think Profoto was doing that. Yeah. Thing.
Oh no, that's from a constant light that was lighting a stage next to it. So it was spill off.
So yeah, because I wasn't one of the people that was using the flash.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There was someone else, and I was just
you're one of those guys.
Well, no, I got on there too, but yeah.
No, it's clean, and you could see that It's almost like you boxed her out with the shadow lines, like it's right on her face, the diagonal across.
Yeah.
Like it's aesthetic, and it's
Yeah.
definitely her mannerisms match the Empire State
Yeah.
Building in the back. Although we're not supposed to shoot the Empire State Building. Did you hear that whole thing?
No.
Yeah, apparently it's like licensed, so you're not allowed to like shoot it and then go sell a photo of it, and they can come after you. So we have to call it a nondescript, pointy building in a metropolis,
yeah.
right?
Well, I'm not selling it, so it's
But you know what's interesting? We were just talking. You're not one of these photographers that are chasing Instagram, trying to get the followers, trying to get likes. You're shooting for yourself. You're putting it out there, but you genuinely are working for brands. That's where your focus is, and I think that's what people hope to get to from social.
Yeah.
And you kind of like are already there. So do you think that in a modern era that you don't need to focus on your own social to keep going? Do you think it's all going to be word of mouth for your whole career?
No, I think I've been lucky. I'll say that. Like, I mean, the work, I can do the work. So the work is there. I can, the proof is in the pudding there. But some of the word of mouth now is like word of social.
Right.
So sometimes someone's seeing something that I did on social and like, oh, but we want him to do that for this or something like that. Or at least they're seeing me or I'm reaching out to or I'm trying to find somebody in that brand or whatever to talk about, oh, I want to work with you. I want to do something. And then, or it happens the other way.
So I always looked at social on my side of things. We shoot different things, but we run the commercial realm, right? I always put it out there as like an ever running proof of concept.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of me approaching a brand and be like, here's what I can do for you, I kind of just throw it out there like a line and go, this is what I've been doing. Does it match what you've been looking for?
Yeah.
And hopefully something connects there. But I feel like you just kind of just jumped over this whole new process we have in this world, right? Like get noticed, get the numbers, and you're just like already in it.
Yeah.
Most people would probably throw something they shot for like Sprite and go and flex. Look what I did. You don't seem to be doing that.
No, so I feel like I come from a generation where, I mean, we didn't have social media at all.
Yeah.
We didn't share anything. There's a bunch of stuff that I still haven't shared. I said a couple months ago, I said on my social that when I reached 2,000 followers, that I would share. There were publications that I was in that I've never shared. I mean, probably some of my family members never even seen it. That's how reserved I am with a lot of this stuff. So, and I think it takes a lot, at least when I was younger, it took a lot to share and show your friends something, right? Like you don't want to be judged and all that stuff. And being a creative wasn't like the cool thing. You were like different than everyone else,
They
right?
just thought you were going to be broke your whole life. That's what they thought.
For sure.
I mean,
That's what I was told, for sure.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Every time I came home with a magazine sheet, my father would be like, how much you get paid? I'm like, it wasn't about that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But without those sheets, you didn't get people to trust you, the credibility to go forward or whatever. But a lot of people, I think, make the mistake of throwing something on social just because it got published. And it might not be the most amazing work, but it was like something they did that got them a job. And that's really what the post is about. It's really interesting the way people value the work. Like if someone else valued it, then they're allowed to value it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like when you see a lot of this work, that's why I was telling you before about like my website versus my IG,
which is opposite of everybody else, by the way.
I know. I'm doing everything backwards, right? But yeah, I think I always tell people my IG is not my portfolio. It can be, but it's not necessarily my portfolio. It might be something I did that week or a project I was working on. And a lot of projects I work on, design and photography, I have NDAs, and or I can't show it until a certain date.
It was a job.
Yeah. So like, how IG is, it's constant. You have to, it gives you a lot of anxiety. I have to constantly be creating something. So just like my photography, slow it down, it's like I'm kind of slowing you down a little bit. Like you'll see it when I post it or something,
It's on your terms.
Yeah,
really,
it's on my
what
terms.
it is, which is very, as a creative, is very kind of like, but it also for me, I don't know about you, but like I get lazy and I just stop striving for the next shot because I don't have any reason to go for it.
Yeah.
Years ago, I think we're from the same era. Like I would print 5x7 prints in the darkroom to keep in my back pocket because I came up shooting BMX. I'd go to Union Square and that's how you would share it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like seen by thousands, but like it was there. You were living with it. Now it's like if you can't put it. So for example, we said what I meant by him saying it was the opposite, that his IG is in his portfolio, is so many people treat IG like the portfolio because it's so much more likely to get shared around as opposed to someone intentionally going to your website.
Yeah.
But I kind of treat it like a destination store, right? If there's a store in a mall, they're trying to get convenience. If there's a store in a place that people have to go to, they mean to go there. They're more likely to buy. So if you're someone that has a website that you curate higher than your social and go, if you came to my website, you're really serious, let's have a discussion. I think your images are the discussion to start.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, it is serious. Like I can shoot and do all these things. It's great. But like, if you want to get paid to do these things that you love, you got to have that website that really shows it.
You have to value it first.
You have to value it first. Yeah, for sure. Now my next thing is I need to print all this stuff. I need to have it physical, and people tell me for years, like, print your work, print your work. I was in Mallorca recently and I met a guy on the street. He was selling his artwork. He was closing up shop actually. And we started talking. I was like, can I take your photo? And he said, oh, he's a photographer, or he was a photographer as well. I think journalism, like,
Okay.
yeah. So I took his photo and, we just had this great interaction, and he said, I'm gonna print this for my daughter. And I had just so much pressure. I just wanted to take your photo to remember this forever. And I just felt all this pressure, and I was like, better be good. So I took the photo, I emailed it to him, and he wrote back, and he was like, in like broken English, he was like, I love your work. And he said it's so serious, like an elder, like, you have to print your work. And that just really like gave me goosebumps. And I was like, shit, yeah, maybe I do.
I don't think people realize when you have a print, you can't swipe it away. Right. It lives in the space you're at. It has a presence. Yeah. And I think there's been a few years of losing that, but I think with all the kids shooting film now, and I think people getting tired of the 7 seconds of attention. Yeah. I mean, we have Adorama Printique here, right? I see people picking up prints all the time. They sit here, they go through them. Yeah. They're taking a minute. Yeah. That is more time than you see anybody with just. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, right? There's a question in the chat from Highbury Henry. How curated do you try to make your work?
Not very well, and on social, I guess if we're talking about social.
I mean, you're gonna choose what you put out there on your site or anywhere. So do you just throw it out there like a junk drawer? Is there some type of method to how you theme it?
Yeah, I don't have a theme, but you'll see when you look through, let's say my feed, if we're talking social, if you go up, so like a lot of that style and fashion stuff was because I was in Italy shooting PT Uomo in Florence. So you'll see that, like, so this is more current. So I shot some New York Fashion Week. I shot a friend. Someone shot me for Lee Jeans.
Look at this guy.
That's me in the
guy. Look at this guy. Not an ad.
Yeah. But
I will say though, I think your demeanor and the way you present yourself is the first it's the first tone of the day when people meet you, if they want to work with you, or if you're hired and you haven't met the talent. Yeah. I think you showing that, like, you have a style to you, your demeanor, you're chill, blah, blah. We're totally different, man. Like, so I can only imagine that you don't even realize how curated you are in all aspects.
I agree. Yeah, I think so. I guess I just go with my gut. If it feels right, if I'm feeling peace from seeing it, then I hope someone else is, and that's kind of how I curate it.
But it takes you a while to get that kind of confidence. If you think you're making the right decisions, or you can even trust yourself. Yeah. There's a lot of people, I think, especially when we do classes here, you can see their faces going like, "Oh, why'd you do it like that? Was that the right decision?" Like, there is no right decision. Right. What's your decision? Yeah. And that's a creative, Yeah. So how long do you think it's been till you felt like you're confident in the way you see things? Do you think that you've just been like always?
No, it's recent. It's recent. Okay. I mean, like, imposter syndrome is real.
It is real.
I'm just starting to get over that now. It's up and down.
I need you to get over it faster, kid.
Yeah. No, I'm getting there because, like, the work I'm doing is getting more recognized and getting hired for more things. So that's telling me I'm doing something right. So, that's a big one for me.
You're getting paid. You get to do it as a career.
It's really, I toggle between careers because I'm still like, after this, I got to go do design work. I got to go finish my design projects. I have deadlines. But then, next week I'm shooting an event. Right. So I'm like right now living between both worlds. And then also with like this account, I have another account called The Daily Chore, which is, it's style based. It's denim. I don't know if it's on there.
Daily Chore.
Yeah. So like, I have maybe put The Daily Chore. But I was again toggling between two accounts. So the account that you know now, my photography account, um, I stopped for a long time and was focusing on the daily chore, which is like curated denim focused. But what I was doing was I had a passion for denim and style, and then combining it with photography. So I was shooting denim mainly and things in that world. So I did that for a couple of years, and then the pandemic hit, and then like I was not doing that, and I went back to my actual photography.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the way the game goes. Like if you're going to try to do this and think it's a punched clock and a safe check, it isn't. You have to be ready to pivot.
Yeah.
And I think you have to trust yourself to, on a technical level, handle what you got to handle. For me, like the anxiety is this, it's a blank page anxiety, right? It could be anything.
Yeah.
I have all the tools. I know how to do all this stuff. Now, where do you go? That is my brain just crushes sometimes.
So I think when the pandemic hit and, you know, the world was a little bit crazy, I just couldn't like justify sitting there like talking about denim or style, you know what I mean? Like it was a little bit hard to like do that. So then I went back to these other things that brought me a little bit more peace, which was shooting other things that weren't, you know.
Where'd the denim thing come from?
It's a great question. It's always kind of been there, but I was working at this company and my boss was a denim head. And it just became this like, almost like a battle competition of who could get like this raw denim or this, you know, rare piece or whatever. But it really comes down to like the history. I think people that are into denim are into history. It's not just like a pair of jeans, right? Like it's the pockets are there for function. Everything's there for a certain reason, and then you learn these things and it becomes more interesting. So it's really like a history lesson.
Wasn't like denim, not denim, but some pair of jeans was invented during like the Panama Canal getting dug or something like that. Like they needed some type of work jean or something.
No, it was like the gold mining in San
like
Francisco.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the rivets, like, you know, it was a blacksmith that put rivets on the jeans to make them stronger. You know, just because he was a blacksmith, not because they were like, oh, rivets. It was like, that's what he had.
Right.
And that's what he did.
That's cool.
But yeah, but that world, I combine those worlds and now I shoot fashion, I shoot style, I go out there and I do those things. So I figured out a way to kind of combine my interests and passions. And that took me to, I mean, the photography is just taking me different places.
Well, it's funny because I look at your graphic design work and I think because you're put in such a box for this brand needs these colors and this has to look like this and flat and whatever, you probably have gotten to a place where you're like, this isn't creative work. This is just work. And now you're like, where can I stretch my legs a little bit? And I think you're such a visual person, unless you're going to start painting, like photography made sense, right? I mean, because if you're used to working with the computer and the tools that a computer gives you, when we were shooting film, you're working with a machine and the way a machine works for you, the way a lens looks, though, you know, you work with the tools and instead of it being like from your hand with a paintbrush, something like that. So I think it's a natural progression. And have you ever taken your shots and then like completely vectorized them and made them into something on that own?
No, but you can kind of see them in my work on either, on my website, like where I'm adding those graphics. The numbers. I just got like, I can shoot the shot and that's great. But what I started, a friend of mine, because I would draw on them. If I was bored on the subway, I would just in IG, right, in stories, I draw on them. And that got a lot of people were like, oh, you should do that more. Because I'm literally putting like my DNA, my signature on these things and my style. And they were like, you should do that more. So that's become like a thing that I'm exploring. So it's like I guess you kind of know it's mine. Or you can recognize it maybe a little bit faster or something like that. But it's also just fun. I get a little bored and it's like, how can I make this different, more enhance it?
But I also think it shows a client what you're able to produce at another level. Like I can't do graphic design. I'm not, but if you're able to show that you're a one-stop shop to create something on a finished page, like forget it, right?
So that's what's been happening. So like these projects that I have now, I'm a one-person studio. If I have a camera and a laptop, I can create anything for it. And I'm also doing motion graphics as well. Jeez. So now it's like people want it to move. They want their, you know, things to pop up and do those things. Thumb stopping, right? Everything has to be thumb stopping, eye catching. So how do you do that? Luckily, I've been doing it for so long, so I could just throw it on there.
Have you ever shot with SX70?
No.
So SX70, if you guys don't know, the original Instagram logo was an SX70 camera, but SX70 had a unique emulsion that you could actually dig into it like clay. So people drew on their Polaroids by ripping, like doing clay relief almost.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you should look at that, because if you're into doing this, you could shoot. I guess it's Polaroid still, right? I guess Impossible Project or whatever still making it. I think it's called Time Zero film, but it does that. Like, you can actually scrape it away and do this on a more caveman
Tactile,
style,
right? More tactile. Yeah, no,
more
it's good.
Playful, I guess you'd say. But
Yeah.
I think you'd be interested. I think it'd be interesting to see what you could do with that.
Something else to do.
Yeah. I wonder if we have it over there, but because I have so many SX70 cameras, that's the first thing I always think about when I load this. Like, am I going to dig into this shot after I shoot it?
Yeah.
So been a while. Don't go looking for that work. It's been a while. But man, so where do you go from here? Are you going to start doing short film? Like, is it like clips? I mean, now that you're going from graphic design to then creating images to then taking the images and doing animation. Are you going to be doing? Do you think you're going to be doing narratives? Do you think you're going to be doing films? Do you think you're going to be doing?
Yeah. So I do a little bit of video. Now I'm being asked to do videos.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what I'll do is, if I'm on a project or I'm doing something or I'm at an event, I might just shoot video just cause, which is fine. But when I get home and I edit it, and then they see the edit, and they're like, "Oh, can you do that again? You know what I mean? Can you come back and do that? I have another thing." Or, and it's not like what I do, but like, I'm just experimenting.
If you showed them what you can produce and they want you to do that,
go
do it.
Yeah.
Don't think it's not what I do, right?
Yeah.
Like, just go do it.
No, I do. I say yes to everything.
Of course.
Right? I can't say no, but that's how I'm learning. I'm doing it,
Don't tell them that. Just
No.
I've been doing this for 25 years.
Well, no, I do it faster because I've been doing it so long. So the things come natural. I can jump on any of these Adobe programs,
right,
and do the thing because I'm doing it all day, maybe at another job or something like that. But yeah. So I'm getting hired more to do some videos and stuff. But so now I'd like to do, like you said, like more. I want to tell a story. I want to tell more of a story.
He just wants to do TikTok. That's all he wants to do. Just all TikTok. That's
you
it.
Can't find me on TikTok.
He was actually, the first thing he said, he was like, "Bring Vine back." That was the first thing he said to me. There's a question in the chat asking, what camera do you shoot with? And guys, this is why we're live. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. So what cameras? Because I just saw you drop a Fuji on the table
I have my little Fuji
that you're hiding under
yeah.
denim bag. But that's in 100T. That's the old school.
Yeah. So
100.
I brought this because this is how I reignited photography for me. So I started with like 2001 a Yashica film camera.
Which people are killing themselves for right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah.
And then I went back to school in 2006. And I took a digital photography class, which I think was like newer at the time. So I had a Nikon back then. It was like a Nikon D200. I think it was 5 megapixels or something.
No,
like
it was
that.
10. It was my first Nikon digital. It was 10. I remember I bought it because it was 10 megapixels.
Yeah.
And crop sensor.
Yeah. And then I was on a trip in Amsterdam, and my friend Tom, who's in the chat somewhere.
He's actually asking your thoughts on cargo shorts.
Oh, of course. Yeah, the ongoing joke. He had, I don't know which Fuji he had. Maybe he'll tell us. He had probably the one before this one.
The X100.
Yeah.
S.
And we were, like just hanging out, and he pulled it out, and it was a cool camera.
It's a cool camera, man.
I think he let me shoot with it a little bit.
I always knew it was cool. It's these cool kids that now think it's cool.
Yeah, it's weird. And this is back in, I don't know, when, 2013.
It had to be, yeah.
Right? Around that time. And then I went home, bought one. At the time, I had only my iPhone, which was smashed like to bits. You couldn't touch it. It had glass in it.
That was also the era everybody had a smashed iPhone.
Right? Super smashed.
It was like a 3 or like a 5 or something.
Yeah. So I went home, bought this when you could just go and buy one, right? And then was right? Can't even get one now. And then I was shooting. Actually, some of the photos on my site were done with this.
Yeah.
And I was just like amazed, and the person I shot was amazed that I made this thing with this camera. And so I graduated from this to the XT3.
Right.
So I have that, and then I recently bought a Sony A7R5.
Yeah, for the
right?
high res.
Yeah. And that was because I got a gig that a client, right? A big one, for a tech gig, and I needed
the res.
The beast. I needed.
Yeah. People don't realize that. You see a lot of YouTube because like the gear doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter till it does.
Yeah.
You can always work with whatever, but like I'm doing a spec job for a huge client right now, and I couldn't do that on a a crop sensor entry level camera where I know they're going to dig into it. They want the bit depth. Like, no.
Yeah.
But if I sold them the concept of this is the style and it's like, it's supposed to look lower res and it's supposed to look this like vintage or whatever, maybe, right? But that's a different story than the tool giving them what they're going to work with. If you guys didn't know about the X100, the numbers, the letters on the end actually mean the series. So X100, X100S for second, T for third, X100F for fourth, X100V for fifth, and now we're on the X106 that everyone's calling a unicorn because everybody wants one after the V was so expensive, so popular. But the thing is that what you were just saying about using this camera, getting great shots of it, I don't think people can understand how much better your shots get, even if it's a placebo, if you enjoyed taking the shot.
Right.
If you enjoyed the tool that was in your hand and you just like the shot that much more.
So when people ask me that, similar questions, what camera should I get? And I don't know if I heard this somewhere, but it's the camera that you enjoy, that you want to pick up is the one you're going to use.
Yeah. And
that's for sure this for me. And then again, if a client needs something specific, I grab the tool that I need. So I'm at that point. I used to, be the guy watching the YouTube videos and having the same questions, but you have to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And then you figure out, oh, I need this, I need that. And that's where I'm at with that.
I mean, I shot a lot of commercial stuff on medium format film, right? Because that's what back then, like 35 millimeter, I had breakdown. It just wasn't for certain things. So I ended up getting into the GFX 100, which Fernando's saying is probably your next bit.
Oh, I would love one.
So GFX 102, I've been shooting it lately. And it's just like, oh my God, it's so nice, man. It's so nice.
I think, my boy Jonathan works at Fuji and he let me shoot one once and it was like, oh man, it's like
beautiful.
butter.
It's beautiful.
I was like, I just take it back. I don't even want it. Don't.
The color depth you get, everything, and there's a quality to it, but you also, have to approach whatever you're shooting with whatever tool is going to deliver something. So if you're looking for something, sometimes you want that cheap $50 plastic lens because it's going to give you that type of look.
Yeah.
But at least I know that whatever I put that lens on, the file will be rich enough for them to do what they need to do with. In commercial, you got to just think about what they're going to rip the hell out of some of these files. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like billboardy stuff and they're like, take this head, put it on that. Now completely over contrast this part. I'm like, whoa.
They Frankenstein it.
Yeah. And I'm like, as long as you paid me, just don't put my name on it.
Sometimes I do that. If they want those raws, I'm like, you don't have to, we'll credit you. I'm like, you know what? Don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Make it worth my while.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what's this cargo shorts thing? I got to know.
I don't know. He had this joke about like being from Queens and wearing cargo shorts, like that being a Queens thing. And the thing is, years later, Zach Galifianakis did some, Between Two Ferns or whatever.
Yeah.
And or some bit, and he was like, you know how his bits are like, this is my impersonation of a guy from Queens. And he literally said, yo, check out my cargo shorts. And I was like, how the hell did he? That's weird. I don't know. Tom, tell everyone about the cargo shorts. I don't know why.
I mean,
I don't know why.
Some of my favorite posts on Instagram are like some crazy scene or like somebody dressed a certain way and they go, what part of New York is he from? And I'm like, oh my God, man. Right. Basketball shorts and a white tank top.
Yep. Or what era? What era, right? Era? That was definitely an era.
I mean, so let me ask you about eras then. Like, do you take into account what's trendy when you go to approach something, or you're still like, this is what I want to shoot and here's what I'm delivering to you? Or do you really go, this client really is concerned with what's going on right now? Like, do you take into account what's trending?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
In kind of all aspects, in design, in style, and kind of in photography. Yeah. I mean, I pay attention to things. I try not to be influenced by any of it. I might try it out just to see what it feels like. But I mean, unless a client is really asking for it and they're paying, I'll do what I'm getting hired to do. But I don't think they're really even coming to me for that. Really? They really like this thing. Like, do that thing, do your thing, which is great. I'm blessed for that in design and in photography. That's the dream. Just, can I go do that thing?
Well, I think if you show enough work that is, and prolific, what I mean by prolific is meaning that it's consistent. Yeah. That people know that you can deliver that and that's what you're going to deliver. But a lot of people put up work and it's like a one-off. And it's like, they can't really get back to that place again. They can't really get back to that style again, that look again. And that's when I think you get into trouble. Yeah. But when your work is very, very, that is, I could tell you your shot. I could see it, so I'm just like, I think people see your work and go like, if I want this, which by the way, I think your style can be kind of timeless because it's not aggressive, and it's not trying to do something it's not trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's got that minimalism, that very honest face value, clean, and that'll never go away. It's like a white t-shirt and jeans, right?
Exactly.
Like that's what we're doing today. If that's what you want, let's go do that today. But I got to tell you, I feel the pressure of chasing trends sometimes.
Yeah. You remember when everything was those night shots, those like neon signs, right? Like
all the Tokyo shots with the cyan cranked all the way up.
Didn't we all want to go do that?
Why is everywhere wet?
Yeah.
Why is everywhere always raining?
Yeah.
Like
they love that reflection. They, did I try it? Yeah, I went out and tried it one night. I don't think you'll see it on anywhere because like it's not my thing. It's not my thing.
If it's not your language, it's not how you talk.
It's not exactly. So let me go back to what I do.
Yeah, there's times I've shot like a style because they wanted me to go that route, and while it might be technically what they wanted, you ever look at a shot that's not your style, but you try it and you go, it's just wrong. Like it's not. I don't feel like I'm saying this. I feel like I'm. To me, it makes me feel like I'm wearing a costume.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting paid and I'm a hired gun, I'll do what you need me to do, and I'll just go.
Yeah. There was like the those prisms that people use, right?
Yeah.
And you see it everywhere. I'm getting ads for it, and I'm like, well, that probably got me. So I was like, let me just buy one and see. I just mess around with it, and I did it. I think there's like maybe one photo on there that I used it with, but it's not. Again, it's not my thing. I just want to try it out.
And it goes into the mess of everybody else's.
And it doesn't help me tell the story of what I'm doing. It's not a tool that I need. Is it a fun little thing to play with? Sure, but it's not in my arsenal.
Well, there's like a double-edged sword because like, not that I'm known for it, but I definitely get asked to do it a lot. It's like shutter drag type techniques, like motion blurs and stuff. And then for a while, it was like the trend. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then all of a sudden, everyone's like, hey, I want these shots. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I did it 5 years ago. Everyone else is doing it now. Now you're asking me to do it again. And then you're kind of going, what am I doing? Right? Hey, I'm not wearing a suit and tie going to some cubicle.
Yeah.
Just suck it up and go do
And
dance, monkey.
And then some of the effects, because I'm a graphic designer, I can create them if I needed to. So like recently I was shooting some runway at New York Fashion Week. And even last year I was shooting in Florence. I shot a runway, and I wasn't there to shoot it. I was there as a guest, but I have my camera, so I'm going to shoot it. Right. And I'm like, if you have a camera at these shows, you're all getting the same shot, really. So it's what you do afterwards. And then I think I was back in the Airbnb, and I was just like, oh, the shots look good. What if I started multiplying them and doing this thing? So you can see it on my IG.
You want me to go to your IG?
Yeah, you go to my IG.
You want me to go to your IG now?
I want you to show this.
Make up your mind, kid.
Scroll down. Scroll up. That top left, the woman in the blue. Right there, yeah. So scroll through there a little bit. So doing stuff like that, which is, again, not anything like...
Could have done it with a prism.
Could have done it, yeah. If I was sitting in... Yeah, so like stuff like that. Like, I'm not carrying all this. I was there as a guest, right? I wasn't there to shoot the thing. I was invited to shoot in the pit, but I didn't want to because why have everyone in the pit going to have the same photo? So I went and shot some of this stuff, and now those, designers... makeup artists, these people see it and they're like, oh, now I'm getting invited back to do this properly. And they're like, oh, we got to get you a better seat. Oh, we got to get you up front. You know what I mean? And again, these are these like word of mouth opportunities. I'm just out there. I'm literally like really out there in these streets, right? As they say. I go to the events.
You're on a runway, bro. You're not on the street.
No. So then you want to go to my street photography? Go on my website. Go on my street photography. And check that out. But I'm out there in the park.
Cosplay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, we're talking about street.
Go ahead, go street. Go street. Yeah. So a lot of these.
The mean streets of Soho, bro.
Not even. That's Flatiron. Everyone goes to Soho.
The mean street of Flatiron. We're in Flatiron, bro.
Yeah. So I worked up the street, and on my lunch breaks, I would go. To me, it was interesting. Those ones on the right, by the way, are film. Those are Mamiya 645.
See, we had to say that. You need to let you know.
You need to know. Slow it down, right? But yeah, so I thought it was interesting. Like these stories were being had of people also on their lunch break. Everyone's in a rush, or they're doing some quick shopping or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. So I'd be out there, just snapping.
No, it's cool. I got to see this cosplay stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you going to go to Comic-Con this month?
I've never been to Comic-Con.
Oh,
so
Oh, we're crossing worlds here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to shout out, what is it? Pursuit of Portraits, right? So they do their different events. This was a cosplay event that they had, and they had models come through and, dress up in different cosplay, and makeup artists do them up and stuff like that.
Is that free to cool? Is that free
Yeah,
to,
meant to be, yeah.
yeah, that is the
Free to
nerdiest
call out.
cosplay.
But yeah, so they're interested. So then I start, messing with type and interweaving
Right.
typography in there. But I thought it was interesting, I know this is definitely your world.
I mean, I don't know. What is my world
Yeah.
anymore? I don't even know.
But it's interesting. But these events are great because you can go there. Everything's kind of set up for you, and you can go there and do your thing. And we're all shooting the same thing, so we get back and we see the way you shot it, the way I shot it, the way they shot it.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think that's important, and that's why I think like critiques are important, stuff like that, and just community part of it. But I also think it's important that you're not a guy that says, "No, I only shoot." You're like, "No, I shoot."
Yeah.
And then how can I apply the way I would shoot to something I wouldn't normally shoot?
Yeah.
And you could easily apply like a fashion look to cosplay.
Yeah.
There's more of a narrative to cosplay, I think, but I struggle with cosplay because after shooting special effects, which is like professional done, when you go back to shooting cosplay, it's such fan that I lean into the DIY part of it. I want to see what you spray painted to make that piece of armor.
Right.
I want to know what Coke can you ripped apart to make that
process
helmet. Like,
of it.
Yeah, I think that's the
That is
cool
cool.
part of it is like
Yeah.
how much dedication they have. Because if you ever look at some of these people at Comic-Con, it's all year they worked on that outfit.
Yeah.
And the thousands of dollars that they slowly built up over time. And they don't even know what it's going to look like till they're done. And then if it doesn't fit, like
Yeah,
who
right.
knows, right? But I think that's you should totally go to Comic-Con.
I want to. I want to check it out. I have friends that go.
It's cool.
That are really into it.
I used to shoot press there, but now I got a content creator pass because they separated. If you don't work for actual press and you just have like channels, now you dog. Here you go
Oh.
with content creator passes,
Okay.
So I'm going to do a video there, but you should, I think the way you shoot, I think you get some very cool, because there is I don't know if you know how it is, like it's indoor, outdoor.
No, I've never.
Javits Center, there's outside in the tunnel where they usually
Yeah.
have the buses go through. That's where all the cosplay shoots happen.
Okay.
So you are in the street. You are
Yeah,
shooting at the buildings. Like
Yeah.
your style would
That
probably
could be.
fly.
That could be interesting.
Or just hang out right outside the Javits when they're walking to the
Yeah.
train. You'll probably get some of the coolest stuff that nothing doesn't look like anybody else's.
Yeah.
So they shot it over there.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what'd be interesting is seeing those street shots where it's like it's style.
Yeah.
But like some kind of crazy cosplay walking down around normal, framed by normal people, and then you just see this one like alien or something like
Do
that
it.
coming down the street. That would be cool. I
Do
might
it.
have to.
I don't know why
check
he's
it
so
out.
lazy, this guy.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to do. I'm not busy at all.
But I think if you hung around on the West Side Highway when people are going in and out,
Yeah.
you'd be able to grab someone like that.
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
surprised. It's really funny because you actually see like the dilution of Comic-Con as you go
Mm-hmm.
more towards Midtown because it's all like concentrated. Then they're all going to different trains, and then all of a sudden you see like Harley Quinn, and then by a Penn Station, you're like, did you get lost? Are you
Yeah,
okay? Where's your flop?
That's cool.
Are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
okay? Are you
like
a
that.
nerd? Do you get into any of the characters or anything?
No, not really. I'm nerdy about other things, but not. I mean, I do like comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm very like specific. Growing up, I've only collected, and this is now it's like again trendy, so it's like I feel a way about it. But I only collected Gambit, the comics
wow.
and the
Okay.
figures, the
Yeah,
action
yeah.
figures, but only him and Rogue, right? Rogue because they were
You
together.
and your wife got they're like, I'm Rogue.
No.
You're Gambit.
No, she barely knows about my my collection. It's still like in an attic somewhere. I have a few comics that I pull out sometimes that I want to read. But yeah, no, I'm not super into it. But back in I collected Marvel cards back in the days, back in the 90s, I think it was. Late 90s.
I think it's such a part of culture that
Yeah.
you can't ignore it really. And as much as some of it's hokey, if you look at the way they're developing shows now with how deep cut they get with it now, because they're running out of stuff they have to
Yeah.
get deep. But just that the writing was that deep back in the 60s, the
Yeah, yeah.
70s, like that's kind of wild. It just
Yeah.
I think the look of the characters kept people away from how deep some of the storytelling was. I
Yeah.
mean, I got what am I? I've Venom and Carnage tattooed on my ribs. What am I gonna do? I'm, Oh, there's a question in the chat though. Any advice for amateur, inspiring, upcoming photographer? This is Eric who comes to like everything here. He's really working hard. We're proud of you for keeping going. Any advice for him to get going? Get a kind of. I know you're trying to find more work related stuff, but
I think it's like straightforward, right? Just shoot, just do it. Like do the things you want to get paid to to do, right?
How do you get in front of people though? How do you find those eyeballs that'll get you?
I think maybe if there's something specific that you want to do or someone you want to work with, create for them now, for you, but with them in mind.
Yeah, spec.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But do your own thing as well. Like I think the magazine that I shoot for, No Chaser, originally how we met was he saw something that I made. It was all like typography in a photo, and that was like different than what everyone else was doing. It's like, oh, could you do that for us for this thing?
Right.
And that's how that worked out. But I wanted to work for that magazine. It was weird. No, I'll say weird. I mean, definitely like manifesting these things and like a vision board. That's, I would tell everyone, like, make a vision board. And I made a vision. This was a few years ago. I made a vision board, and it literally was like, I want to shoot for this magazine. And a month and a half later, literally they hit me up and was like, can you do this thing? And then creating something for digital turned into, oh, can you come and shoot this product for the magazine? Which then turned into, can you shoot the cover of the magazine? And I was like, yeah, because I don't say no to anything. I say yeah to everything. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we figure it out. And that's how that happened. So that's what I would say to do. Make your vision board, list out the brands or whoever you want to work with, and start, shooting, doing your spec work with them in mind.
Right.
And hopefully they see it. And if they don't, figure out a way to get your work in front of them.
I think the key to what he just said though is keep them in mind. Don't emulate.
Yeah, do not.
Understand how they want to approach things, but don't emulate. Still do it the way you do it, because in the end, you don't want to be trying to figure out a copy of something when they hire you. You want to be able to be like, here's how I would do it. I know how you like it. Let's meet in the middle and go forward. And I think getting the cover after you shot something for them is just them going, nah, this is the type of stuff we want to do. You do that. Let's go.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen to everybody. You still have to have some level of talent, but if they see what they want, it's subjective.
Yeah.
There's stuff that hits magazine covers. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But that's what they wanted, right? So,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Keep them in mind. That's a good way to put it.
And I think what I've been doing is, like, I go to events, I go to expos, I go to trade shows.
Right.
And I've been doing that a lot lately, and that's been getting me in front of a human, right? Because
we don't do those anymore. It's
yeah,
AI,
no, I don't do it. I want to talk to a human. I will go there with my iPad with my work up, and just have it ready, because that's the wow factor when they see it, because they're talking to a bunch of people, and I'm like, oh, I'm a photographer, like everyone, right? And then they show, oh wow, okay, yeah, let's talk, or they at least they connect me with the person that can hire me.
Yeah, if you've got their ears and eyes, and you're not wasting time, if you can just get something of your shit, because anybody, I think you probably got into this too. It's in your mind what you would do.
Yeah.
It's in your mind what you do. They have no idea what you do.
Right.
But you're talking as if they're seeing the same image.
Right.
You know how it sounds psychotic, but I go to shows, I know what I'm getting to, like Comic-Con, for example. I'll show them some of the stuff, but I'll be on that album before I even go approach anybody.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to waste anyone's time.
Nope.
You don't want to give a bad first impression. What is it? Are you a human, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the biggest things too is, like, yes, let's say yes, you can do the work, right? And you can show it, but do you even want to work with me? Do we even vibe?
Yeah.
Is there even a vibration between us?
Yeah.
That too. And then they'll be like, oh, and I think sometimes I meet. First of all, these are trade shows, so they're not the person I need. They're a rep. They're trying to sell to whatever store.
But they're there to be social.
They're there to be social. Sometimes they, maybe there's like a lull and there's nothing going on, so that's the best time to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not competing with anyone. Also, there's no one like me. There's no photographers or creatives going there. People buyers. They want to buy it or whatever. So they're just like, oh, creative. It's this new thing, and then they want to be like, go to whoever, their boss or whoever, and say, oh, I met this guy, he can do this thing. And then now there's like a rumble, because how do you even find people's email addresses? Like LinkedIn or...
And there is something to be said for going to a place that you'd stand out. Because if you go to some place that they're going through, it's like an audition, right? They get numb after a while. They've seen 1,000 faces. No one's sticking out to them. But if you go into a place where they're still social, but not expecting to be on that line, it's like, oh, this is cool. What do you do? Oh, we'll keep you in mind, whatever.
Exactly.
Even if they keep you in mind for a year, 2 years, whatever, it eventually hits, or they move to another corporation and they remember you.
That literally just happened to me. It was someone that I photographed they went from one company to another company. Oh, they followed me. They watched me for 2 years, and
Just
right.
creeps, right?
I was like, wait, you still look at this? Okay, cool. I saw him at a trade show, and you know, talked, and he was like, have you seen? He's like, I'm working for this brand now. Have you seen our social? I was like, no. He's like, he's like, go look at. We need your help, you know. And I was flattered. I was like, well, thank you, appreciate it. And but again, it's all talk, right? Until
Right.
something happens. So I was just like, I'm not gonna say anything, whatever. Wait. And then he backed it up, and he when he presented, he made sure there was a budget to have someone like me come on, called me, and then we did it. And now we have like a consistent relationship, and we're going doing another project for them at the end of the month, and then hopefully another one in January.
And that first job you do, make no mistake, you didn't get the job yet. That's your audition. They're
Yes.
you're just
Yes.
happy getting paid, but
Yeah.
that is the moment that you have to really go forward. I think people get like complacent. Oh, I got it. No, you didn't.
Yeah. No.
And in fact, all these people peripherally around you watching the project are going to take notes of, were they difficult? Did they show up on time?
Yep.
Were they reliable? You know, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy the
Yeah.
stuff that I've seen people who are so talented
Yeah.
lose jobs over.
Yeah. So this job was originally meant to be for like social. They just wanted to like, we like what you do on your again, that's kind of where social like helped me. We like what you do. Can you do that for us?
Right.
And it was meant to be this small kind of like, you know, small budget thing, whatever. But what I produced became so, it was what I do, like what you said. It did all those, it checked all those boxes, and they were like, "Whoa, this is like more than social. Like that we can like, wait, can we license this?" And that'd be another conversation. So I was like, "Yeah, of course," you know, because they have it for a certain amount of time for
Yeah,
social
usage rights.
Yeah, and then they're like, you know, wait a minute, like this looks like it could be a billboard. And because I shot it with the Beast, the resolution's there, everything's there, and because it was a fashion line, there, you know, it's one thing to tell the story of the look, but then they're zooming in and looking at the textures, and they're like, how did you capture? And then they're asking me the questions that I know everyone gets. What lens did you use?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, luckily I was sitting with the art director, who also we bonded and we became friends, and we have a similar eye, and we both looked at each other like, it's not the lens.
Yeah.
It wasn't the lens. It was the beautiful lighting that we got. It was my settings. And then I just was able to capture this thing, and that for them that told the story, a bigger story, because they're about texture, they're about the materials.
Yeah.
The look is great, but they're really like, the reason you're paying so much is because of this fabric, this thread. So yeah.
Yeah, I shot for a lingerie brand a million years ago, Euro brand. I had to, I'm having such trouble talking. I'm sorry, guys. I had to light this woman's legs separately from her face and everything else, because I had to get a harder light to show the fabric, so that they understood how quality the weaving was.
Yeah.
And understanding that, year of a client.
Yeah.
Whole year. And I was like, this is amazing. But that's where it comes into play. That's where the experience comes up. That's where they don't even know what they want, but you know what they're going to want, and you deliver it. So you show value.
Yeah.
Your image they just said, well, we can use this image for more than that. They're going to bring you on again because they know they're going to get more value the next time they bring you on the next time. So when I started shooting GFX, I shot a lookbook for someone really quick. I mean, quick, dude. But because she could take the whole look and then she could zoom into the buttons or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Just for social, she's like, this is awesome. Or the banner on the webpage, like, is just detail shots of the cuffs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't even thought to shoot that, but they cropped in enough to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gear's an investment, but you're showing value. It's not, people get caught up in like, why are cameras this much money? They're doing a lot. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know?
And speaking of that detail, something happened recently. I was shooting a denim brand out of Italy, Peppino, they're great. And I was just shooting them because I want to do an article on them. And when I was shooting them, I started shooting the details because it was, wherever there's like branding, that's
money.
right. That's money, right? If your logo's on your button or all these things or the stitching,
It's the details.
and they said something to me. They said, oh wow, he's catching the details. Our photographer in Italy doesn't do that.
Yeah, they're lazy.
Right. And then I was like, and they were like, we got to get him to come, and those are the conversations I like, you do this thing because I'm a designer, I know how to tell the story visually, and I have the tools to do it, and they appreciate it. And then they want to bring you on for some stuff. And that's what I want to do.
Oh no, if you show you care about someone's project, what they're trying to do, they can't help but be appreciative of it. It's not just like, oh, let me show up and get this over with.
Yeah.
how much better could I do this?
Yeah.
How much more can I give? There's actually a question in the chat. What are your current sorts of inspiration?
That's a great question. Right now it's music videos. There's an artist called, I think it's Dochi. She had it just on YouTube, it popped up and I just saw this video and I was just like, whoa. It's almost like the PG Lang videos, Kendrick Lamar's older videos.
Yeah.
Dave Free, right? He does them. And there's something about the way he does that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I feel like, oh, he must like understand art and simplicity and all these things and putting it in a music video. So music a lot, to be honest with you. It's not necessarily a visual thing, but music is
The vibe.
it's a vibe. Like I design differently depending on what I'm listening to, and maybe I shoot differently depending on what I'm listening to.
That's interesting. Yeah, well, it's a frame of mind, right?
Yeah.
You know, I listen to everything, but I have to be in the mood for the thing
Yeah.
I put on.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's death metal, and sometimes it's polka. I mean, I whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I've
Yeah.
been playing a lot of. This sounds so nerdy. I've been playing a lot of Souls-like games, orchestrations, because they're long
Mm-hmm.
and they're drawn out, and I find myself thinking slower and deeper
Yeah.
than normal, and
Yeah.
I'm noticing things different. But it's true. Like as hokey as it sounds, and it's like
Yeah.
bohemian. That's my knife. As bohemian as it sounds, or whatever. Like, yeah, we're still these organic beings that are creating something.
Yeah.
And the mood you're in is going to affect what you're projecting.
It 100% does. I think, and same thing with these vibes on the shoot. If you vibe with people, it'll just go better.
I will say this though: if I have another like 20-something-year-old art director be like, "No vibes," as like a
As a
description
direction?
of what they're looking
Yeah.
for, I'm gonna just lose my
Yeah.
mind.
I'm talking about more of like
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if I
No.
need vibes.
Yeah, no, I don't
vibes.
know what. Now it's aura, right?
Or is it aura? I don't
think
wanna
it's
hear
like
that
aura.
one.
I don't know what any of this.
I think they're
stuff
just
means.
saying words.
Yeah.
I don't even. You know they're gonna be fired soon anyway.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
I mean, in design, right? In graphic design, they use the same words, and not the same words. They have their own set of words, right? Make it pop, right? Make it, that kind of thing. So like, I'm just used to all these terms. I'm gonna do what I do anyway. We can always pull it back to whatever you need it to be, but I'm gonna do what I do.
There's been times where I just want to be like, "Go, you shoot it." Like whatever vibe you're going for that I'm not hitting, you shoot it.
Yeah,
Like,
you do it.
I
Yeah.
don't know why you pulled me in here
Yeah.
if I'm not the guy. Fernando saying Hiro Moriarty. Is that the guy?
I don't know what that is.
Is that the director of the music video that you're talking about?
Oh,
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I just saw the video like a couple weeks ago. I didn't get to dig into it.
Someone's gonna drop it in the comments now. Watch. And if you're watching After Fact, feel free. You
Do
know.
it. It gave me some ideas of things that I want to do this fall. Like maybe setting up a backdrop somewhere in a field and just doing something there. And I don't know, but I saw that in a music video and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, we do a lot of like setting up the backdrop, but it's on a rooftop. Then you do the zoom out and you show the whole set. on
Yeah,
the rooftop.
right. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. But in somewhere like a juxtaposition, right, of something where I think actually that's what she did in the music video. But I think she's in a junkyard.
That-
Right?
Probably.
Like super weird, but like I like it.
Do a sunflower field.
Something I want to do. It's like super
lilac fields or whatever.
super juxtaposition of I don't know what.
No, you know what I want to do? I want to get a grimy dollar slice place and do like a high fashion with a background and zoom out and just show how like this grimy ass.
In your pizzeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like a bad pizzeria.
Yeah.
Not a good.
Really. Yeah.
There's a lot of pizza in New York. Not all of it's good. But
Yeah.
There's a lot of pizza.
I know.
We're not going to go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let's probably not do that.
But we're hitting time pretty much soon. So where are we going from here? What can we look for from you? I mean, you sound like you have a lot going on right now. I'd love to get you in here to do maybe like a talk, maybe one day, feed these minds that we have coming in here all the time. I know Eric will be here, but where do you think you're going for a personal thing? Do you want to put out a book one day? Are you looking to put out something like
A book?
Do a denim line?
Not a denim line. A book for sure, though. I have to, like I said before, print my work. I see my mom on there. That's funny. That is funny. I got inspiration from Yaya, my grandmother. Okay, cool. Actually, you know what? I'll bring this up real quick because I was talking to my mom the other day on the phone, and she mentioned something about, and I'm sure this is probably like in the 70s or 80s, that we'd have, family events, holidays and stuff, and she would be the one with the camera. And I didn't have no, by the way, that Yashica that I used, that was her camera, I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
But I didn't realize that she was taking photos, like that was even a thing. But she was like, because we're all that. If you take photos, right, you're the guy at the party. Oh, they invite you to take some photos. So she was that, and I actually was inspired by that when she said that the other day. Something I didn't know, and I was like, oh, maybe that's where I get that from.
People always show like stacks of old photographs, and no one ever asks, "Hey, who was shooting this?
Right.
Was it Dad? Like, who was?" No one ever asked.
Exactly. Well, now I found out it was my mom that was
Cool,
today.
cool.
But yeah, I want to do a book for sure. I think, you know, I think I'm trying to figure out if it should be focused on one thing specific. Should it be denim? Should it be all the stuff that I did?
Why limit yourself? Do a bunch.
Exactly. I think my first one should be, I've done so much, like I would just kind of want to share it with everyone and just be like, hey, look.
You know how I see your work? Because it's so like 5x7 small books, but a series of small books.
Yeah.
And then the spines make an image.
Of course.
Like your typography.
Have it consistent. Yeah.
I think that
would be, so I got to plan that out so that
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Cliff, come here. I'm live. I want to come here. No, come on, Cliff. Come on, Cliff. Do you know Cliff?
We've met before, yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but this is Cliff Housen was on this show before. But Cliff is officially
How you doing?
retiring from.
Some of the,
Cliff is officially retiring his legendary status in this industry, except now he's elevating himself to being just Cliff Housen, the photographer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
By the way, nice post on Instagram.
You like that, right?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, maybe you look like a nut job, but I am a nut job, so it's okay.
I mean,
you had me trying to break into a fence.
I didn't have you. You tried to break into a fence, so I put the clip on.
And so I try to climb over the fence, and then as I try to climb over, the fence opens. The fence opens up. It was funny. Anyway, thank you, man.
We're very appreciative to Cliff. Go check out his episode of Coffee with the Creators. There's a bunch of weeks back. We got to have you come back on. You know, now that can you start wearing colors now?
No, yeah. I don't only have to wear black. I can wear whatever I want now.
I just had to give a shout out to this guy. I owe a lot to this guy. The whole industry owes a lot to this guy, and the legacy is deeper than you could even imagine. I'm excited for him to be himself and not just a brand. So,
well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you.
We're almost that time. Stick around.
Sorry to interrupt your.
No, it's all right.
I had to. I mean, he's ending like a 57-year career. What is it? Something like that.
Right? I saw that online.
Yeah, something like that. There's a post there a lot. Go check out his website. John Michael is obviously not stopping anytime soon. I'm excited to see where you're going with stuff. I think the small book series idea is cool. Maybe we talked about something with Pratik, get you some prints going. But I do want to say thank you to Westcott for sponsoring this episode. Again, check out the links down below for a full lighting system, both constant strobe and 10 tons of modifiers that have been in this industry forever. And listen, guys, be good to each other. Check out adorama.com/events for the stuff that's going on here. You know, free classes. Daniel Norton will be shooting live here on the 10th. And, look, Halloween's coming up. I hope you guys are getting revved up. Hopefully I'll do something demo-wise. We'll see what happens. But, John Michael, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Check out his stuff. And anything you want to part with?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me.
I always have a bad dismount. I don't know how
you got to work on it.
I don't know how to do it. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you on the channel. Hit subscribe, hit like. It really helps him out. He feeds his family with likes.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.